Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Platform 1 with me, Jack, and my lovely colleague Dave over here. We're back in the studio once again and there's plenty to look at this week with all sorts of new things coming up, and we're quite excited to get started really, but there's already a lot of people down there in the chat for us to say hello to, so a lot of familiar faces and well, familiar usernames, I should say, and yeah, other people in here. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We've got Bluegrass Rail Fan once again. Says morning, everyone. Looking forward to an order from Hattons. It should be here today if DHL's on time. Interested to see what you're expecting today, Bluegrass.
Definitely,
so do let us know. We've got Jack Erling says hello. Charles Curtis, he's also expecting a DHL delivery today. Ethan Amstutz. Ben Davis says thanks for the live stream and he hopes we have a good weekend at Wally. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Thank you very much.
We've got Clive Cobbold, 700 Shunter from Australia. Richard Svidersky says good afternoon. Southway 1943, and we've got Jeremy Olsenga here. So thank you very much for joining us once again, guys. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Platform 1. This is our weekly news show for all things model railways. Every Friday you can tune in, so do make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.
Right, let's get started, I think. Let's hit the ground running, and we can't miss from last week the reception that our own Hattons Originals Class 66s had. We had the first production sample available to show as well, and a lot of news on those coming through and into stock towards the end of the year, and we've had a few more production samples, so we thought we'd get them on Platform 1 for you.
That's
Essentially, we've got the two we see here in the Euro Cargo Rail and the DB Schenker as well, but that's not all we've had, is it?
That's not it, and they'll be appearing on the screen right for you now. So as you can see right front and centre there, we've actually got the first Freightliner Power Hall sample, which we've not actually shown off before, so it's quite exciting to have that here for you today. Obviously, we've got the DB Schenker livery that Dave just touched on there, which is looking very nice with that distinctive red colour scheme and the grey band on the bottom and on the top of the body as well.
This really pulls from the DB brand in Germany, and it's been carried for pretty much over 50 years now, doesn't it, really? And really distinct and vibrant colour scheme there, only introduced on the locos about 10 or so years ago now, but another loco with a continental connection is on your screen now, and this is the Euro Cargo Rail livery. The livery started as EWS in the UK, but these locomotives saw service in France, so if you're not a UK modeller, you can get away with one of these on your layout. And as Jack mentioned before, this is the first time we've shown the Freightliner Power Hall livery, which is pretty much the same colours but in a distinctly different styling than the original Freightliner livery, first brought into use about 8 or so years ago now. And of course running alongside locomotives in the original livery and the new orange livery, which is available to pre-order as well.
And of course, everyone's favourite here, we've got BR Large Logo Blue once again. This is one of the final production samples for that model as well, which has got a bit of a cult following across the UK now, and it's seen operating pretty much everywhere, isn't it really? So everyone's gotten a chance to see it. But there's just 4 of the samples, but there will be even more to come. And if you are coming to Wally this weekend, you'll be able to see those up close and personal as well, so you can get a really nice close look at them.
Yeah, we'll have pretty much all of the 66s available to see, including the new announcements as well. We'll have the initial body shells for the 5 that we announced recently also. And again, as said, we've had a really great reception to these, and of course if you've got your pre-order in before the air freight date was announced, you will be getting those before Christmas, but don't miss out otherwise, because you can pre-order them right now by clicking that link in the description and you'll get yours in January.
Absolutely, so it's really not that long to wait now. I'm really excited to see these appearing on people's layouts and what you guys are going to do with them. But we'll just give you another close look at the Freightliner Power Hall livery again, just because that's the first time you've been able to see this one. It really is quite distinctive with that grey additional part of the livery on this one, isn't it? Because it's not there isn't too many that have that embellishment.
There isn't indeed, and this really was quite a change for Freightliner in their livery style. The colours had remained the same from the green and yellow there, but more of the swoosh style of the yellow coming right into the body sides and the slab-sided on the cab ends really makes it look quite modern to me, especially with the grey sort of swoop on the bottom as well there.
I'm quite partial to this one too, really, but it's yeah, it does look really different.
And there are a number of locomotives we are producing in the Power Hall livery as well, but fans of Freightliner can also get them in the original Freightliner green and yellow, and we are doing the orange livery that's just been introduced as well, and pink as well with the Freightliner and Warn partnership locomotive 66587. So if you're a fan of Freightliner, you can pick 3 distinct colour schemes to go for there.
I don't think there's many other locomotives, well, especially heavy diesel freight locomotives that have been painted into so many varied colour schemes, really, isn't than the Class 66. So.
Even with the 4 shots we saw on the screen there before of the locomotives together, just 4 of them together really have some real clashing, distinct colours there as well. And as said before, if you come into our Wally exhibition at the weekend, you will be able to see them all lined up, so you can just really see the individuality of them as well.
That's it. And as Dave said, we will have those early body shells of the new batch that we announced a couple of weeks ago as well for you to see, so you can get a good close look at those too. But it really is a diverse loco, the 66. There's a lot of choices out there, but it's not the end of the story yet though either, is it? There's still a lot of news coming out with the 66.
It's not. The 66 is always a highlight of the model railway press, whether it's another naming. I believe there was one named yesterday actually, to really keep it up to date.
I believe that was Freightliner with the Samaritans project.
It was indeed, yes, number 66415 I believe. So every single day there's a whole new bit of news about the 66. So the story isn't over yet, really. There's a lot to come, and maybe a lot more vibrant colour schemes to come out as well.
That's it. If you've got a modern era layout, you can't read without a 66, really. It's the backbone of the network, really. It's the one that needs to be included.
And of course, if you haven't seen our 66 yet, you can see the full specification on our website. If you click that link in the description, there's also links to running videos of the production samples, really in-depth videos of how the GCC sound functions will work as well, full specifications, samples, all the details, including the instructions for the locomotive too. So if you need more details, head over to our website and everything you need is there for you.
Our website really is the place to go for all the latest news on the 66. As well, you can find some other videos on our YouTube channel as well, so do make sure to check out the other stuff we've got available. We have got other running sessions with the 66s, and as Dave said, we've got that really in-depth video with all the different sounds being played with a DCC expert as well, so that's a really good one to check out. But as I thought there would be, there is a lot of comments coming in here for the 66s because it's the hot topic right now. So I
thought so.
We've got Graham MCK here, and he says, "Good afternoon, guys. Here's a question: the BR Blue 66, will this be in before Christmas?"
Now, if you have a pre-order for it, it will be. So if you've pre-ordered before the air freight option, which I believe was about a week ago, it will be before Christmas. But if you pre-order it right now, you'll be getting it just after in January.
So it's either way, it's not too long to wait. And if you are getting it in January, something to brighten up the New Year blues, I suppose, isn't it?
That's exactly it.
We've got Ben Davis says the Class 66 look amazing. We've got Southway 1943, and he really loves the Freightliner livery. I am a bit partial to that power hole myself, to be honest. It's just got something a little bit different about it. It's just not quite usual.
It builds on the Freightliner identity, but gives it a really modern twist as well, with the angles and the curves.
Yeah, something a bit different there. We've got I Like Transport. It says the 66s are fantastic. Gareth Waite, back once again, who actually popped into our store recently. I think we said last stream, and he said, "Thank you, Jack, for letting me have a look at one of the 66s the other day. It's amazing what you guys have done. Very welcome to have you in the shop, and thanks for coming down to see us again."
Absolutely, and if you want to see the 66s up close and personal for yourself, as we have mentioned, they will be at our stand at the Wally show this weekend.
That's it. We've got Charles Curtis, says he's probably going to get the Freightliner livery. We've got St. Pancras International Station, says, "I'm pre-ordering 2 66s next week, possibly another 2 in early December."
Right.
We've got Caitlin Lee Lewan, says the 66s look brilliant. Southway 1943 again says, "Always loved the Freightliner, and this one looks so sleek." I agree. Ewan Strains, sorry?
A lot of people are really getting that sleek look to the Freightliner Power Hall livery there, aren't they, with the curvature, etc. I think a lot of people are really getting the same feeling we're getting for that.
I think so, yeah. Everyone's in tune with this one, I think. We've got Ewan's Trains and Buses, says, "Can't wait to have 66789 on the layout. Thanks for that." And Bluegrass Rail Fan says, "Any guesses how many Class 66 schemes are out there in real life?" There's got to be hundreds.
There's got to be hundreds. Yeah. You could sit down and work it out, but I think you'd be there for quite some time, really. You'd need a couple of cups of tea and an energy drink or two to work through the list. So. But there's a challenge
out there for someone to do that.
There is indeed. It's a little bit of homework for the class there, I think. So, but definitely over hundreds, I think.
It depends if you're going to bring in the continental ones here as well.
That's a good point. It's a good question.
There's quite a lot out there.
There are many, definitely. For an exact figure, can't quite get it off the top of my head, but definitely many.
More than one, less than a million, let's say.
What's to me?
We've got Redshed 66077, sorry, says, "Will you produce the current DB cargo livery as a Schenker has been dropped from it?"
There are a lot of options for future liveries. One of the main ones we have been asked for is the DB Cargo UK, where if we use the DB Schenker logo as an example, it does lose the Schenker branding and the DB emblem does get bigger as well. it's one option for the future. There's still quite a lot of liveries to touch on, and never say never, essentially. So if there is a livery you'd like to see, let us know in the chat, or do send us an email or drop us a message on our Facebook page. We are always taking on ideas. And of course, as well, as we've mentioned, speak to us at Wally if you are attending, and we will listen, and who knows what may come on in the future.
That's it. I mean, we always love to hear your guys' ideas, but of course, we're bringing in 37 liveries in this first batch, which is mind-blowing, really, to have that amount of logos coming through at once. So once those lot are out the way, that's when we can potentially start to look at some other liveries as well. But like we touched on as well, the 66 story is it seems to be never-ending, really. So there's sure to be even more liveries coming out in the future as well. So we haven't really scratch the surface, so to speak, yet. In the future, do keep your eyes open. There might be more to come. We've got London International says he's looking forward to getting a Classic 6789. He's got one on order. Medway Peninsula Model Railway. Thanks for Brian Hattons, who works in the store here, for advising what wagons to go with the Cemex livery. So good job for our guy Hattons there. Our guy Brian there. And I do hope you enjoy your Cemex livery 66 when it comes in soon. And we've got Andy 1962, and he says he loves the BR Blue 66 as well, but I mean, who doesn't? That's
it. It's got to be one of the most popular ones, really. But with the variations available, as we saw on the screen before, there really is a colour scheme for everyone here, whether you fancy a more austere livery or a single colour, or whether you fancy something more vibrant and stands out on your layout. There is a 66 for everyone.
Oh, there absolutely is.
Or two, or maybe more. So do take a look at that link in the description, and all the details are there.
That's it. We gave you a quick look there at some of the production sample images, but if you do want to have a look at those in more detail, head over to the website, and everything you need to know is all on there. So
certainly,
it's all for you to check out. Right.
Indeed.
Where should we go next, Dave? Should we go for something completely different?
I think we've got to go completely different.
Yeah. So now we've got some new releases from Oxford Diecast due very, very soon. I think it might even be this afternoon, potentially.
Maybe this afternoon,
or within
maybe
the next week.
Early next week, but they certainly are on the way to us at the moment.
That's it. So Oxford sent us quite a lot of stuff this week. We've got a few cycling through now. So you've got the usual range of the lovely 176 and N scale and O scale cars. Some classic ones there. You've got commercial vehicles and vans. You've got more classic cars here, like this lovely, I think it's a Vauxhall of some description there. Again, more modern cars like a Land Rover Discovery. And everyone's favourite there, that's been a bit of a popular sell, the Fred Dibner livery Land Rover.
And that's it. With this range, it's not only a lot of new introductions, as you see on the screen at the moment, but it is the return for some old favourites there as well, such as the Coca-Cola van on the screen currently, the RAC roadside pickup vehicle as well, but also favourites such as South Down buses, O-scale cars we see on the screen, and as we touched on previously, Fred Dibner's trusty Land Rover as well.
That's it. And there's even a few famous vehicles in there. As you can see, there's a few hot rods and American muscle cars coming through, and there's a return of the Back to the Future range in 124 scale as well. So we've got 3 cars from each of the movies, as you can see there. That's from the Back to the Future 1, but there is cars from Back to the Future 2 and 3 as well. So if you're an aficionado of the films, you can get the full collection there, and they're really fantastic models, to be honest. There's a correct tooling for each one, and yeah, they're looking really nice.
They really have gone to town on the Back to the Future range, and the other link there with the movies as well was the taxi we saw was from the Godfather films as well, so another link there. And it shows how the Oxford Diecast range is really expanding, and there is something in there for pretty much every layout or model, because they do operate in N gauge, double O gauge and O gauge too. But at the same time, they are bringing through a lot of American cars in HO gauge. So if you do model across the pond, there are a lot of models available for you now along the lines of Dodges and Chryslers and
maybe if you've been inspired by Rod Stewart's recent modelling adventures.
Absolutely, yes. Covered in a lot of the presses recently. His huge US-based layout. It's pretty hard to miss, actually, but there's a lot of people modelling that, as is Rod Stewart. But it's great to see some of the popular items returning to the range as well. There's been a lot of demand, especially where we are in the north of England, for the Fred Dibner Land Rover as well, in both 00 and O, and they are available to order right now as well. In fact, everything we put on the screen there is available to order right now, and it will be in stock either later today or early next week. So check out that link in the description, and full details are there.
And the thing is, that's just a small taste of the range. There is a lot more that's coming in today, but there's already hundreds of items that are in stock right now to buy as well. there really is something for every layout in there. As you can see from some of the pictures there, you've got bang up-to-date cars, classic cars, American cars, commercial vehicles, buses, trucks, everything you need for your layout. You can get it in model form pretty much these days.
Now, this is something I did count. I didn't count the 66 liveries, but I did count the Oxford Diecast items.
Go on,
and we
then.
have over 1,500 currently in stock.
Wow.
Of the Oxford Diecast range, and that covers all the scales, all the vehicle types. They produce buses, large lorries, various commercial vehicles, containers for trains or road vehicles as well, cars, planes, the whole lot. It really is worth looking at that range, because at the end of the day, a layout doesn't stop at the edge of the railway. You've got to have the environment for it to run through. It may pass a bus depot or a small country road or an airport or something along those lines. So the rest of the transport spectrum, shall we say, really is just as much part of the scene as the railways are.
That's it. And if you're sticking to a specific era, you want the vehicles to match as well. So
Yes.
it's important to have a really diverse range of stuff out there that does fit in with your layout, and Oxford Diecast does deliver on that. As I said, there's cars for every era, there's plenty of different bus types, there's lots of different trucks, and with the trucks, they might have the correct advertisements on the side for the era that you're looking for or something like that. So it's definitely worth browsing our Oxford Diecast selection and see that there's something for you.
But of course, Oxford Diecast do cater for the railway fraternity as well in their Oxford Rail range, and we are getting one new item from them next week too, which is the first sound-fitted version of the Oxford Rail N7 in Great Eastern Railway Grey. So that is coming in as well. Again, it is available to pre-order now on our website, but we do have strictly limited stock of those. So if you do want one, make sure you get your pre-order in.
There is more to come from Oxford Rail as well, isn't there? Because we've got new versions of the N7 on the way. We've got the second BR Black version, which we've featured before, with the white depot embellishments on there, which you can see on our website right now, which is a really nice model, and we're quite excited to see that one. And we've got the sound-fitted version of the Railgun due at some point, which we're really excited to try out on the test track. And we'll definitely have a video on that one for you at some point.
And also the J27 as well, the North Eastern Railway 060 locomotive, which we've been promised a little bit of news on soon, so keep an eye on Platform 1 and keep your finger on the pulse, and as soon as we've got something more on that, we'll certainly have it ready to show you.
That's it. But swinging back to the diecast a little bit, obviously we've had quite a big delivery just this weekend, coming in over the next course of the next week probably, of new items there. But it is quite a constant release schedule for Oxford, really. There's always something new coming in, so it's always worth just checking on new stock page and seeing what's coming, really, because there's always quite a big variety of things that are on the way. And as we've said, it can be almost anything. I believe there is another one of the rail-going Land Rovers due soon as well.
There is indeed,
in one of the more modern white liveries there. So I know those have been an incredibly popular seller too. Obviously, there's the cross connection between, is it a rail vehicle or is it a road vehicle? There's actually a bit of both in there. So it's which range does it go in?
if you're a fan of both and you're not quite sure whether to get a new diesel for your railway or a new diesel for your road, you can have a little bit of both though, which is a really good way to sort of appease both types.
Yeah, very prototypical as well.
But there really is some variety in there. It's probably worth a second look at the range.
I was going to say, should we take another look
through?
There's a lot there, so you can see from the top.
The sheer variety that you see on the screen at the moment, we're touching on some of the classic open cars that we see there, going right back to the 20s and 30s. More modern vehicles from the 1980s onwards. You've got the commercial vehicles there from the same era, coming right through, going back to the 50s and the 60s in the UK there. Right up to date with the new Discovery you see on the screen there at the moment, the Fred Dibner vehicle, which is immensely popular release as well. Pitchford's van there as well for pies and sausages.
So kind of northern again, I suppose.
You can just see the range here of vehicles from pretty much over 120 years of development, really, and all different jobs. You've got the Southdown bust there as well, the Wayman fanfare on the screen. And all those different scales are catered for, so there just is a sheer variety. And of course, everything you see on the screen there is available to order right now as well, so check out that link.
The beauty of a lot of these vehicles too is obviously it can be set dressing for your modern railway or something useful for one of your town scenes or something like that. But also, because a lot of these cars are general cars that you might just see out and about, or something that you might have owned in the past, it can make a nice little collectible model just to have of something that you might have driven yourself or your dad might have driven or something like that. I know I've bought a few for that reason, but there's just a nice collectible feel to a lot of these, and the prices are really great at what you can get some of these for now. I know a lot of the 00 gauge cars you can get for around £4,000 to £10, really, can't
Pretty
you?
much.
So it's quite cost effective to get quite a lot of nice vehicles onto your layout as well.
And for those of you not familiar with the range, they are supplied in a little glass display case as well on a plinth already. So if you're not using them on your layout and you did want to display them, as Jack mentioned, they do come ready displayable, so to speak, as well. So you can get them straight on your fireplace or on your layout.
That's it. We've got a few comments here to go through anyway. We've got Sammy B Films, says he just touched on the Coke van that we had on screen there, and he says a Coke van for the Coke train set, which is perfect. And there is actually quite a lot of Coca-Cola liveried items, especially from Oxford as well. You've got the Coke transporter van, as you saw there. I know there's an old school Volkswagen camper van with surfboards and stuff on it, which is Coca-Cola liveried. And obviously the Christmas Coke truck, you can buy that. And I think there's a few others as well, so do take a look on the site and you can see more of those. We've got Ben Davis says he hopes to get the Dodge Charger 1968 in black and white and the Dodge D100 swept side pickup truck 1957. Some great choices.
That's really pulling on some of those American range items there, which are produced in HO scale as well. So perfect for those of you who do model American layouts, just to buy and plonk straight on.
That's it. And of course, if you did want them on a 00 gauge layout, if you're not too bothered about a little bit of scale discrepancy, there's not that much difference between them, so you could pop that onto your 00 if you wanted as well. We've got Bluegrass Rail fan says, man, that Daytona is sweet. Made for interesting race cars over here in the States. And he also says, actually, he's seen 2 DeLoreans in person, one at the Virginia Transport Museum, and it even had the lace-up shoes and the hoverboard inside it from the films. I've actually sat in a DeLorean at one point at a car show once, which was quite an interesting experience. Very difficult to get into.
Can imagine.
Let's just say, yeah. We got Ben Davis again, and he says, out of the Oxford Diecast coming through, which ones would you want to put on your layout?
Oh, I think for me, with the Northern connection, I'd have to go for the Fred Dibnah Land Rover.
I knew you'd pick that.
I really think, though, with the whole connection, it's part of the tapestry up here, I think, really. So have to pay homage there.
Going back to your roots there, aren't you? I'm going to join Ben. I'm going to go for some of the American cars out there. The brilliant Dodge Charger we saw there, and maybe the pickup truck as well. They're pretty cool. We've got Andrew Bootles. He's just pre-ordered the Fred Dibnah Land Rover, so he's joining you with that one.
Brilliant.
He can't wait to get it, and hopefully Oxford will do the others he owned with the little ladders on the roof, perhaps.
It may be something to see, as it has been an immensely popular release. In fact, it's the second run. The first one went within a few weeks, actually, and it is available in O gauge as well. So maybe some more along the way there. If the sales of this one to go by, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's it. I really think we'll see more from them in the future on that one. And then we've got Graham MCK back here again, and he says, the good thing with Oxford is no matter where you are in the UK, they have something you can see in everyday life, from Bells Hill to Brighton.
That's exactly what you touched on there, isn't it, really? There's a lot of normal cars, shall we say, that you do see out and about on the UK's roads, and further afield as well, with a lot of the American cars there too. And
it's not just normal cars as well. There is actually some, you've got your higher-end Jaguars in there. They do a lot of Aston Martin vehicles, and some race cars and stuff like that as well. So there's quite a nice variety in there. And as you saw on the screen, we had some of the more like 80s Fords and things like that. So there is quite a variety, really. And like Graham says, it's something from everyday life as well. So it's a bit more realistic, because you're not just going to see Aston Martins in convoy around your layout, are you?
Really
unless you wanted to. But and we've got one more from Matthias Krigsman here, and he says he wishes Oxford would do a 16 or 20 ton steel mineral wagon in the future.
Now, they do produce a lot of wagons already. They produce various different plank wagons under their Oxford Rail range, which can be ordered from us in a huge variety of private owner liveries. But it may be something again to see in the future from them. Certainly, it's worth putting the idea to them, or even to us, and we can certainly pass it on to them, actually. So if you do have any ideas, do let us know, and we can certainly feed it back.
Absolutely. Right, now you've probably seen there's a lot of full-size trains here on the table today, and we've got a few interesting boxes behind us as well for train sets. So of course, we're going to be taking a look at a few train sets here. Now, we're on the run-up to Christmas now as well, so a lot of you are probably going to be buying presents, or maybe even buying something for yourself for the big day coming up next month. So we've picked out a few of our favourite train sets here, and we've got one which has just arrived back in stock from Hornby, which is the Eurostar train set.
This really is one of the anticipated train set releases of the year, with it being the Eurostar as well. This is the trans-country, shall we say, train?
Transcontinental?
Transcontinental almost, yeah, that works from the UK into France, into Belgium as well. They've been running for quite a while now, but they really have been picked out in that modern livery there. And this is the full pack. You get the 4-car unit, you get the track controller there as well. You do get a siding for use as well. It all comes as one pack, and that's £126 to start off with as well. So for a full-size train set with a high-speed train in it too, it really is a great price to get started at.
It really is, and it's not just an oval track you get in this one. You do get a track back A included with this as well, so you do get a little bit of operational difference. Perhaps you've got some other trains on your layout as well, so you can actually have the siding there. You do get included a track mat as well, and some other bits of information, and of course you get your latest version of the Hornby DC controller to go with it as well. I think you do get a couple of other little bits and bobs like a buffer stop and a re-railer as well in the box, which is really nice little additions and just handy things to help you out when you get started. But the model itself, it is great for £126, isn't it? Because you are getting a 4-car EMU, and it is picked out in this livery, which is very crisp.
It's been really hard to get hold of for the last few years, actually, since they last released this set a number of years ago. So a lot of people have been waiting in anticipation to build up their Eurostar trains again for the layout. And the model does have a lot of detail as well. It has the posable pantographs on either end, you see here. It does have working forward lights as well, and an interior. And also it's going to be a bit hard to show you, I'm afraid, but it's certainly able to see.
Oh, there we go.
You can see the articulated coaches in the middle there as well, which is something quite unusual on a UK train, but they've managed to really get that perfect on the model.
I think it's one of the only EMUs in the UK that has that articulation, isn't it?
I can't think of many.
I think perhaps some of the new trains that are coming in
I
think it might be Greater Anglia or somewhere might have that, but it's certainly still very rare, and it was at the time the only one that had that feature. But it's a very striking look, isn't it? And it really is something different. But as you touched on, you've got your postal pantographs there, and they both pop up. So there's actually two different looking pantographs as well, aren't they? So they've actually tooled those up properly there. And delivery application it's what you first notice, I think, with this model. It's like we've touched on with a few of Hornby's other releases recently, slightly more bargain or the railroad range items that we've had coming through. It's one of the more classic items, but they've really brought it to life with one of the new liveries. So this is the livery that's worn from about 2014 onwards, isn't it? And it does really set the model off with that quite distinctive and strong blue colour with the grey as well.
Hornby's got quite a name now for the finesse of their finish on models as well, with the vibrancy of the colours and the amount of really finely printed detailing there as well. So you can see there on the packaging as well, everything that's included with the set. And of course, that's not the end of the Eurostar as well, because you can buy the unit individually there, the 4-car unit, and also the extension coach pack as well. Now, both of those are available to pre-order right now and available in January, we've been told. But if you do want a Eurostar before then, or you want something a little more modern going around the bottom of your Christmas tree, the Eurostar train set is available to order right now, so have a look at that link.
That's it. I've been looking at this at the corner of my eye while you were talking there, and it's something that quite impresses me is actually quite a nice level of interior detail in here.
Yes.
Obviously, we won't be able to show you that quite on the camera just yet, but you've got all the tables in there, the seating, and it looks quite busy inside, which is quite nice, because on a lot of slightly more bargain price models, quite often there might be less interior detail, or you might have the black plated windows so that you can't quite see inside. But I think it just looks really good. It really sets off that model, and it makes it look like a busy train that's on its way to France or Belgium or Amsterdam or whatever.
Fully agree, and these units operate at about up to 16 different vehicles in real life as well. But even in the length of a 4-car unit, you still get the look of the Eurostar as well. It's just the right amount to get it on a train set, but also to really get the effects of it there as well. But you can order the additional coaches, but even as a 4 set, to me, it's got that Eurostar feel to it.
And especially if you're picking this up as a Christmas present, or you are just getting started off in modern railways and you're not looking for something, you might not have the space to run a 18 coach train or whatever it is. This is, like Dave says, it's perfect, and it does still have that status and a bit of, it does have an effect to it, really. So it does look fantastic, this set. And it comes from other Hornby Express sets that we've seen in the past. Obviously, they were quite popular with the Pendolino sets that they produced, and other HST train sets and things like that. So it is just nice to see another Express train set in the range, because it's been a little while since we've had one, let alone Eurostar, but other Express sets such as this.
It is indeed, and over the next month, we are expecting the Great Western Railway high-speed train set as well. So couple missing for a little while, but actually 2 really nice full complete express train sets available pretty much at the same time.
That's it. And it's like we said again, it's these classic models, but getting reinvigorated with these fantastic, crisp, intricate new liveries on there. And the HST will be the same with that very vibrant green GWR scheme on there, which we're excited to see as well. But that'll be coming through soon. The Eurostar is available right now. I've just seen in the corner of my eye, we've got SLD51 in the chat, and he's asking when this one will be available. This is here right now, so you can get your hands on this whenever you want. And as Dave said, the individual trains will be available in the new year.
But it is available to pre-order the individual trains right now. But check out that link in the description because you can have one of the sets today.
Something, I'm just looking at the corner of my eye here. It's something I've always loved with the Hornby train set boxes. It's something that just gets me a bit excited, is the artwork on the front of them.
Yes.
It's always something that's been a big selling point for these train sets. They look great on the store shelves. Of course, you've got really epic image of the Eurostar coming straight at you. It's got that speed and finesse there. You've got the Eiffel Tower in the background, just giving you a bit of an indication of where they operate. And you've even got a nice little map here that indicates the different destinations that it does operate to. So you've got from London down to Ashford and Ebbsfleet, and then obviously once it crosses over into Calais, Brussels, Disneyland, Paris, all of these great destinations. So it's something we don't always touch on, is the actual packaging of the items.
No,
and a lot of people do buy the models to have them as a collectible. So I do quite enjoy the Hornby train set boxes.
It's almost as if you've got a use for the box to display it while you're using the train set as well. So
might as well make the most of it.
Double purpose. Might as well make the most, certainly. But that's not the only train set we've got here today, actually. We did want to show a lot of the variety, what is available for you to get started. Christmas is a great time to get started in the hobby because you can start it off under the Christmas tree. Absolutely. But then you can really pick some bargains up heading into January and the new year as well. A lot of new product announcements happen in the winter period too, so you can get some real inspiration coming through from a lot of the manufacturers and ourselves as well.
That's it. And if you are just getting started, it's a great way to have something there ready, and then it's just waiting to get built on and really get your adventure going as well. So it's the perfect place to start, really. But we've got a few more here on the table, so which one do you want to talk about next, Dave?
Oh, I'll let you have that choice.
Let's go with Harry Potter. Come on.
Works for me.
It's classic films, and it's a classic train set item as well, so it's something that's always been desirable.
And this is another set that you do get the complete package with. You don't only get the controller and the track, but you do get the Hogwarts Express locomotive there, and 5972, but also 2 coaches to go with it. And this is a fully detailed model, actually. This is Hornby's Hall locomotive, which has been painted in the colour scheme used in the films as well, so it is the actual locomotive. You can see the full level of detail on the valve gear there, as well as the rest of the locomotive, and the 2 Mark 1s it's pulling were the ones used in the film as well.
It really is a high detail loco, this one. It really is quite impressive. You can see from some of the close-up shots there, you've got all the rivet detail on there, really intricate livery application. You've got a full cab interior, sprung buffers, the works really. So this isn't, this isn't your cheap small train set really. This is quite a nice model. It's quite an intricate detailed set you're going to get here. So if you are a true Potter fan, you can't be without this one really. And it's another one that looks great around the bottom of the Christmas tree as well.
It is indeed, and there's a lot of expansion opportunities there with the additional coaches available on a lot of the buildings too from Hogsmeade Station. So there's some great opportunities to start off a Harry Potter train set. Or one thing with train sets as well is, even if you've got a layout already, they're great just to get the parts to expand a layout, because you do get track that can be used. You get an additional controller if you already have one. You get some great new stock in some really vibrant new colours as well. So even if you've already hit the ground running with your model railway, or you've got quite an extensive collection, you can buy the set and use all the different parts around your layout that's already on the go.
That's it. You don't just have to use it the way it's intended, I suppose, do you? It's a great point, that really, because sometimes as well, these train sets, it's actually quite cost effective to buy it because you're getting everything in one box that way. So it can actually work out a bit cheaper buying it all together and buy just several train sets, and then you might be able to find use for your separate controllers or something like that elsewhere.
That set gives you a lot of opportunities then, doesn't it, really?
But yeah, heading back to the Hogwarts Express here, it is a fantastic loco, but it's not just the loco. We've got these lovely Mark 1 coaches as well, which are fitted out in the proper Hogwarts Railways livery. And you do get a brake coach and a TSO there as well, but they are fantastic. There's a lot of detail there. It's Hornby's proper full fat Mark 1, this, isn't it?
It is, and Hornby tooled this up about 3 or 4 years ago now, and it is the same as the main range model. So you've got the full metal wheels there as well, you've got the Commonwealth bogie detail, you've got NEM couplings as well on the ends, full compartment interior there. I mean, you could fit that out with some of the figurines if you wanted to recreate a mini scene from the film. But the coaches are full of detail. And again, as we mentioned on the Eurostar, the level of printing goes right down to the Hogwarts Railways logo on the side there as well. So it is a full detail pack. And for people who do want to add it to a current layout as well, both the Hogwarts Castle and the Eurostar are digital ready as well, so you can improve them or fit them out with full digital or sound capability as well. So it's not just for new starters, you really can add these to an already established collection.
And as you mentioned with the Eurostar as well and the Hogwarts Castle, these are available separately from the train sets too, so you can buy the Hogwarts Castle locomotive on its own, and there is a sound fitted version of that one coming through as well, which we're really excited to give a test out on our track. But if you didn't quite want to go for the train set, you can buy that separately too, and you can buy the coaches separately as well.
You can indeed.
Especially if you wanted to extend that train to a full prototypical Hogwarts Railways length, if it is prototypical in any way. But yeah,
that was in the films, so it's...
yeah, like that counts. But yeah, if you want to get any of these train sets that we're talking about right now, there are links down there in the description. You can find out all you need to know and purchase those today. The Eurostar comes in at just 126, as Dave said, and we've got the Hogwarts Express set for £180.
And that's not forgetting our guy in the middle here as well, is it?
That's it, the true Christmas set here in the middle.
The true Christmas set. Now, this is designed to go around the bottom of a Christmas tree. The track is set up in that way that you do get with the set. And of course, you get the controller we've shown before as well. But what is the most standout thing here is on your screen at the moment. It's the diesel shunter locomotive and the two covered wagons there in this really vibrant Coca-Cola livery, matching the actual lorries that go around the world on tours just before Christmas time.
We featured this one a few times before, and it's always had a really positive reception just for how striking the livery scheme on this and how it's a little bit different really to get a shunting train set in a sense. And people have actually been coming to us with ideas of what they would actually do with this on a proper layout as well. So I know we talked about in the past, some guys had ideas for Coca-Cola bottling plants that you can make with this. But as you said, it's true, I'd almost say it's true home is around the bottom of the Christmas tree, isn't it? It really is perfect for that duty. And you just can't help but hear the song playing through your head when it's going around there, can't you? It's certainly coming into mind right now.
And it really does have that capability there as well. It's quite a decent locomotive to start off with as well. It's got a great haulage capacity, so it's more than capable of handling the two wagons in the pack. And of course, if you really do want to expand your collection, there are further wagons in the Coca-Cola livery available to order now as well. There's tank wagons too that are coming through. And even with those on the back as well, this locomotive will handle all those vehicles on a layout. So it really looked nice around the bottom of a Christmas tree. Something standing out and different there as well in that Coca-Cola livery. A little bit less traditional than your steam locomotive going round, but still really has a lot of character to it as well.
Really packs an impact, this one, and it has been a really popular sell since we got this in a few months ago. And really, that's in part to the price. This is £72 that this comes in at for a full train, lovely, hard-working shunter, as you mentioned there, with great haulage capacity. You've got your full loop of track, perfect for around the Christmas tree, as you mentioned, or on a tabletop or wherever you want to put it, and a controller and everything else you need to get started. And again, like I mentioned before, lovely box with your great artwork on it as well.
And it really is easy to get started with a set like that as well, with all the track in there. It is a case of slotting the track together and no real tough skills required, to be honest with you. You don't need to know any soldering skills. It is plug and play. So if you are tempted to get into the hobby, if you're watching the Platform 1 for the first time and thinking this hobby's for you, this is a really great place to get started, because you can just open the box and put the bits together and have a railway running in a couple of minutes.
That's it. And again, if you want to get your hands on one of these, there are some left in stock, so do hit that link in the description and you can see everything you need to know about it and get one on order as well. But we've actually got a few more that we can show you here, but we couldn't actually fit them on the table because we've just got so much here. We've crammed in the boxes behind us and everything. So we've got, of course, Formby's Family Fun project, which they recently launched at Hattons. Now, this is available now for £180, and we've been talking about everything you need to get started. Now, this really is everything you need to get started. You get a huge box full of stuff, as you can see here. It's everything you need, isn't it?
There is absolutely no stone left unturned with this set. The only part you need is a bit of baseboard or a tabletop to put it on. Otherwise, the whole lot is included. You get your locomotive, you get your wagons, you get your controller, but also you get a lot of the scenery ready to go as well. You get a lot of buildings there. You get various different bits of ballast and trees and people and cars and scenes there too, and also a huge instruction manual which tells you how to get it all started and how to go together as well. So if you really fancied a whole package there and you want a proper layout from the get-go with buildings and the full scenery, the works essentially, this really is the one to look at, because the price is really slashed down from all the individual item prices as well. I think it works out at about 2/3 of the price if you bought all the pieces separately. So it's a great bargain way to get up with a really serious layout to start off on.
That's it. And if that's not enough for you, there actually are expansion packs for this set. So if you find that you've got it all built, you're excited about, maybe you are doing it as a family project, getting everyone involved, getting the kids involved or whatever, you can actually make it even bigger. So there are expansion pack 1, as you can see on the screen right now. This will start flicking through. This comes with, I believe, another locomotive in there, some more rolling stock, more buildings, more track, more scenery, just everything. So you can get some different trains running on there and really get that starting to extend. And then you've got expansion pack 2 as well, which again, it just features some more items in there for you, so you can really start to develop your set and build a full model railway for yourself.
There's some really great options here as well, and as ever with model railways, is you don't have to follow the rules in how you set them up. There is a recommended way and to get the absolute most out of them, but at the same time, as they say in the films, the limit is your imagination, really. If you wanted to lay it in a certain way and you had the bits there to do it, you go for it. You know, that's the best part about the family fun sets there, is you do get every piece, so you can really start your imagination firing from the get-go with all those different individual cameos and people and buildings and trees. You can set it up as you wish, and from what we've seen so far from people who've bought them, there really is some variety, and it shows just how different you can make things look if you all start with the same pieces as well.
That's it. It gives you everything you need to get started. It gives you all the knowledge with the handy guide as well. But the limit really is your imagination. You can go wherever you want to with this. And when you've started to really develop your model railway and you're really getting further with it, get onto hattons.co.uk and you can buy even more for your layout. The world is your oyster, really. There's just so much out there to get started with. Right, we've got a lot of comments coming in here about the train set. So we've got SLD51. Oh, we talked about that before with the Eurostar train set coming in. James Akers says, Greater Anglia do have some similar locos to the Eurostar. That's the ones I was thinking of. I
thought it might have
been. The 745s and the 755s that are running along the Bittern line have got articulation in them, apparently.
They have indeed. They're the Stadler units, I believe. Yes. Those just been introduced.
That interesting tiny centre car bit with all the mechanics in it. It's very interesting. We've got Robert Scott, Wyvern Junction, says, is the Eurostar model part of the railroad range?
It's not actually. It is part of the full super detail range as well. So the model in the train set and coming separately as the train pack does have the really finesse of the printing in there as well, but operational, should I say there, and digital in capacity as well.
Brilliant. We've got David S says he's waiting on the R1236 set.
Right, okay, yes.
Actually.
Now, I think that's one of the ones that's going to be coming a little later in the year. That we've been promised a couple more just before Christmas. We've just had the industrial freight set within the last few days, and we're expecting the Great Western high-speed train set, as well as a couple of others, over the next few weeks or so.
Brilliant. We've got Sammy B Films says the Hornby Sovereign packs look really good too. That's another one that we can touch on actually. We've got an example of one here, which is the Welshman set. Now, the Hornby Sovereign packs are almost designed as a more higher end pack for people who are looking for a little bit more detail. So you get one of Hornby's really super detailed locos. You get 4 coaches in there as well, but you're still getting your track. And you're also getting a HM2000 controller, which just offers a little bit more operational flexibility than the standard controller. And you do get the book with a lot of track plans in there too.
This really is for if you're building a real main line of a layout, more of a loft layout or something along those lines, and you are getting started quite seriously in the hobby, so to speak, really. So it gives you a great set of highly detailed locomotives and rolling stock to begin with there. And we do have a range of the sovereign sets available to order on our site at the moment. Again, as with the other train sets, they are cheaper to buy in the packs than they are if you bought the individual components as well. So do take a look at that link in the description and you will find more details about those there.
That's it. These really are perfect for if like we said before, it can often work out better to buy multiple train sets to get all the stuff you need to go. It might also be good if you're someone who's been involved in a hobby in the past and you've maybe had some time off for it and come back, but you want something that's a little bit more detailed. So these train sets really do fill that part of the market, really. We've got Southway 1943, and he says, on the Hogwarts Express, where would the sound speaker and chip go? Is it in the tender or is it in the engine?
On the locomotive that's being provided by Hornby, pre-fitted, the sound decoder and the speaker are going to be in the tender.
Brilliant. We've got Southway 1943 again, and he says he's going to be purchasing the Coca-Cola train set next week from us, so I do hope you enjoy that once it arrives.
Fantastic. Let us know what you get up to with it.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Bluegrass Railfan says Amtrak recently did an ACS 64 loco in a Coca-Cola scheme, and Hornby was ahead of the curve in that way, he thinks.
May well be, yeah. Hornby just beat them to the punch with putting a diesel in that livery there, I think. But
I think so, yeah.
Who knows? May have been one before.
We've got Sammy B Film says the Family Fun project looks really fun, and it's a great idea from Hornby.
There's a lot more details on the exact contents on that on our website as well, so do check out that link, and there's a lot more detail for you to see.
And an interesting point here from SLD51, he says, do we know that there are actually Coca-Cola U18A containers in Japan?
No, that's
I did not know that.
Actually.
Does it carry Coca-Cola?
You can buy a Coca-Cola container as part of the Oxford Diecast range as well, so I'd be interested to see just how authentic that is, but that's one we'll have to do a little bit of research on I think.
I'll be looking that up after the show, I think. You've piqued my interest there. Thank you very much for that one. Right, so moving on now. Last week we talked about Wally, which was less than a week away, and now it's tomorrow. So we have
can you? It's
the highlight of the year for modelers, really. It's the biggest show of the year. Lots to see, lots of demonstrators, lots of amazing layouts on show, some lovely full-size locomotives and wagons which we've seen this year, and we'll be there, of course, as well.
It's the biggest model railway show in the UK, if not probably the world, to be quite honest with you. There's over 95 layouts on show of all different scales and eras as well. Of course, ourselves are there, but also a lot of the other manufacturers, including the likes of Hornby, are there as well. You've got people there ready to speak to you. Myself and Jack will be in attendance too. If you want to come along and introduce yourself from the chat, you're more than welcome to there. And it is tomorrow and Sunday as well. It's open from 10 o'clock. Both days, and it is open right up until 6 o'clock tomorrow and up until 5 o'clock on Sunday as well. But there really is some great items on show there. There's a lot of teams from the Great Model Railway Challenge who've recently been on the show as well there for you to meet. There's some opportunities to pick up bargains as well. And of course, as we all expect with Wally, there'll be some great new announcements from a lot of the manufacturers as well. So something to keep a real eye on there. Now, we have had a little bit of a note through, haven't we, that Helgen will be announcing some new items there tomorrow.
Nice bit of gen there for you.
We've been given a little bit of a hint there, so we will be putting those on our social media channels and website as soon as we can tomorrow as well. So if you really want to see that news hot off the press, we'll be getting it up there as soon as we can. But of course, we'll be covering it in next week's Platform 1 as well, if you want to see it there too.
That's it. So make sure you like our Facebook page, check out our Instagram or also our Twitter as well, or keep your eyes glued to the website, and all of that stuff will be going on there as soon as we get the call, really. But there is some exciting stuff planned from Helgen, hopefully, so we look forward to seeing what it is.
And that's just what we know as well. We might arrive there and find there's a lot more surprises too. So, of course, we will bring you that as soon as we can.
That's it. We're really looking forward to the show this weekend anyway. As Dave said, do feel free to come up and see us, come and say hello, come and see the latest samples of all of our projects. Of course, we've got the Class 66s here today. They'll be at Wally, so you can see all the different samples. We've got the body shell samples there as well.
Yes.
You can see our recent released A3s and A4s, the new batch of the FEA and the RHTTs, which have just come out, and plenty more as well. And you can just come and chat to us about any of your ideas, any questions, take a selfie, whatever you want to do, really.
That's it. We'll be there all weekend, and we will be on stand A40. So do see us there.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you there, guys, anyway. But do make sure as well next week to check out the next episode of Platform 1 as well, as I'm sure we'll have a bit of a bumper show with all of the big announcements from Wally and all the news.
There's going to be a lot to cover, I feel. We say it's a busy week every week, but I think next week's going to be an extremely busy week.
We might have to be on all day at this rate.
So make sure you save the date for next week's Platform 1 as well, because it will be worth coming.
I've just seen out the corner of my eye as well, we've got James Hardy just asking, when is Wally? And it is on the Saturday 23rd and Sunday 24th. So it's this weekend and it's on both days. And
it's at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham as well. So really easy to get through from pretty much all of the country, to be quite honest with you. And once you're there, it's in hall number 5 as well, which I think is one of the biggest halls on the site as well.
I think so, yeah.
Absolutely cram full of model railway manufacturers and layouts, and quite a few full-size locomotives and pieces of rolling stock as well. So some real inspiration to see full-size vehicles, some great layouts to get inspiration for your own projects, and meet up with a lot of the manufacturers, including ourselves, and get all the latest news. Well, the latest news that isn't on Platform 1, of course. This is the latest news here on Platform 1. But you do get a lot of news there as well, so it's great to just come along and chat, and we'll see you there.
Soak up the hobby, be part of it all. That's what it's all about. We've got I Like Transport says, I can't wait for Wally. Ron Stanbridge says he'll be seeing us on Sunday.
Fantastic.
We've got the Growler Blackwood Engage Layout says it's going to be the first visit to Wally for him, and he's leaving in a couple of hours as for an overnight stay. Looking forward to tomorrow. Southway 1943 says first time at Wally as well, so he's excited.
Brilliant.
And Taze says they are we going to be live streaming from Wally? We're not sure right now. We won't be doing a Platform 1, unfortunately, but myself might be available on some quick live videos on our Facebook or Instagram channels, so do keep your eye on those. Make sure you like our Facebook and follow our Instagram as well, and we will be doing posts throughout the day on anything interesting that comes up as well. So
certainly all the latest news we'll put straight on there, and we'll have here on Platform 1 next week as well, but hopefully see as many of you as possible there as well. Do make yourselves known and do say hello, and we'll look forward to it.
Brilliant. So now we've got our real life story of the week for you guys, and this is something that you came across, isn't it? That I don't think many other people have actually realised, because we've not seen much about it out there.
This got me thinking with the Eurostar coming in. I've always been a fan of the Eurostar units. They really did revolutionise that international rail travel within Europe as well. The building of the Channel Tunnel was a major project. It really is a big thing. And I did a little bit more looking into it for mentioning it on here today. And actually it turns out that November 2019 is 25 years of Eurostar operation, with it starting in November 1994. So it really is a milestone. You don't think of it as that long ago, actually. No. It always seems as a very modern operation with the modern sleek Eurostar units here. They look like they've been built yesterday, so to speak, but they've actually got 25 years of use on the clock now as well. So it shows just how much of a real backbone of the operation that's become
and
there.
It's heavy use as well, isn't it? Because these trains are capable of 199 miles an hour
yes.
On the high-speed sections, which is really quite impressive. And they're doing that every single day over huge distances, going through the second largest railway tunnel in the world, which is really quite something. And they've gone through a lot in the past 25 years with little bits of maintenance here and there, but no real major overhauls in there, is there? So
the main change has actually been where the Eurostar operates, because in the UK especially, now there's High Speed 1, which runs right from the terminal at Ashford, through coming out the tunnel, into a purpose-converted station at London St Pancras International as well. That's been open since 2007, but before that they actually ran out of Waterloo Station in South London and on the normal railway tracks there as well, so they fought amongst the commuter trains to find a way to the tunnel, but they got the purpose line built. And of course, as you can see there across the country, you can see the Pancras International Station on the screen there now. They do have their own purpose-built line, but it's not the only Eurostar trains out there at the moment. As you can see, there's the Class 374 Venturi units as well that are coming into service. These are built in Germany, and eventually they will replace our old friends, the Class 373 units, which we have on the table here and available from Hornby, as we've said. But there's also a model available for Engage modelers as well, isn't there?
You might have seen that tucked away down there. We've actually got the full train out there. And this is available at a bargain price right now from Hattons. And you get the full 8-car train set included as part of that. It's available for just $129.50, which in Engage for 8 cars is unbelievable. And anyone who's seen a Kato model before will know the immense quality that you get in these. We've actually got a few pictures on screen for you now. They are wonderful models, these. The level of detail that's packed into this for Engage is incredible. You can see the posable pantographs there. They do have working lights, I believe. And they've got full interior detail too.
And this as well, the bargain version, is in the classic version of delivery that a lot of you, I'm sure, remember starting off in 1994 and carrying on for almost 20 years, working millions and millions of miles working between France, Brussels and the UK as well. A lot of interior detail there, as Jack mentioned. There's working lighting too. They're DCC capable as well, so really good option for your digital modelers. And again, the Eurostar has got to be one of the most iconic British trains, even if it operates a lot outside the UK as well. So to have that back available in 00 and available at a real bargain price in N-Gauge at this real symbolic quarter of a century of operation as well, it's just the right time to get a Eurostar for your layout. If you've been thinking about one, or if you're a fan, with so much available now at this real pinnacle of the lives, it's the time to think about it.
It is. It really is an interesting time for the Eurostar with 25 years of operation now. And of course, as Dave mentioned, the new Adventure trains coming in, the Class 374s. But it's not the end for the 373s. They've still got a lot of life left in them yet. Some of them have been withdrawn, but there is still quite a few out there, and they're operating alongside the 374s, putting in plenty of service every single day.
Yeah, I think you can see a real one at the National Railway Museum as well.
You certainly
I think
can,
they've actually got one up there too. So if you do fancy getting up close and personal with a full-size Eurostar, you can head up there, or indeed you can head anywhere between London and France really and find one on the way. But of course, if you do want one that's a little bit more of a manageable scale, whether you're a 00 or an N-Gauge modeler, click those links in the description and there's models available for you.
That's it. So you can see from some of the pictures there as well, they do go to some lovely scenery as well. I know there is some trains that actually do go on special, almost like holiday excursions. So they actually go to different parts of France that aren't on the traditional destination list. But obviously they do daily service to central and northern France, the Netherlands and Belgium as well. Yes. So there's a lot of work for these trains, so they do a hell of a lot of mileage. And
I believe they actually hold the British speed record as well for the fastest train ever to operate in the UK of any type.
It's incredible.
So I think that's 206 miles an hour as well, which for the UK, that's lightning fast. That's sleek.
Yeah, that's almost getting up to Japanese territory there with the ultra high speed trains. But yeah, we just had to touch on that. We haven't seen many other people mentioning that it's a quarter of a century for the Eurostar, which is unbelievable, really. It's as you say, they still feel like a brand new train.
They do.
Even though they only started a few months after I was born, I think, but they still feel new to me. It was still exciting as a kid, so it's interesting to know that it really has been that long.
It is indeed.
Right, so we've got Don Juan King Fox Junction says Eurostars are fantastic. Tay says he quite often goes to the Eurostar depot at Temple Mills to spot them, as he doesn't live far away. Very lucky to live quite close to there. Bluegrass Rail fan says he can vouch for Cato's quality. His N-scale loco fleet is probably 80% Cato, and he's got another 100 plus cars and coaches from them. So that's a really big collection you've got going on there. That's fantastic. We've got Ethan Amstutz says tempted by the Eurostar, but he's going to go for the 001. We've got Bluegrass again says he's got the Cato Ice 4 that came out earlier this year, but he's not got the Eurostar yet. Perfect time to get one with it only being $129.50, and you're getting a huge 8-car set. And if you do want to expand that as well, you can buy extra coach packs for it as well. So if you want to go for is it 18 coaches, something like that?
I believe so. It's a lot.
So you can build that up if you like as well. And SLD51 here says he's got loads of Cato stuff and the quality is amazing, and it really is. Mm-hmm. Right, guys, we've got about 3 minutes left in the show there. We've been talking a lot about our train sets and the Eurostar stuff there, so we were very excited about that. We might have time for a couple more questions.
Absolutely.
Sorry if we don't get round to answering yours, but if you do want to get it answered, head over to our social media channels, give us a call, give us an email, get on the website, you know the drill, and we can help you out with anything you need to know. But we'll do a few quick fire ones and see if we can get through some. So we've got Richard Svidersky says his brother wants to know when he can expect the Hornby, Huntley and Palmer Peckett. Now that just came into stock this week, didn't it?
We have got a very limited number of those in stock right now, so do head over to our website where you're available to order. But we do have a really strictly limited number of those, so do check them out, but do be quick.
I think I need to get one of those myself. We've got Dark Shark 2012 says, is Hornby's LNER Class 800 still due into stock in December?
We've been told to expect that slightly early in 2020 now, actually, more towards January, February time. That is the latest update on that, but as soon as we get something more definitive, we'll be updating our listings.
Brilliant. We've got Edward C. Tucker says, any idea when we will be getting the Hornby sliding door Mark IIIs?
Sliding sliding door mark freezer have gone back a little bit later now. I've actually been told to expect those in the spring, but they are available to pre-order right now in Great Western Railway, ScotRail and Cross Country liveries as well.
We should be expecting some painted samples of those soon, I imagine, as
Certainly.
well. Ian B says, is the double tender A4 Bittern in stock yet?
We're expecting those next week. I believe Wednesday we are getting those.
Brilliant. Look forward to seeing that on the show at some point. Southway 1943 says, are we selling the blue and orange drinks cup behind me on the shelf? Unfortunately, we don't actually sell those at the moment because I don't think we've actually got that many left. They all went out to staff and people. But we do sell our Hattons mugs, which you may have seen at some point on the streams. They're available right now. So if you look for that on our website, they're about £5 or £6, I believe. So you can get one of those. 700 Shunter says, any news on the LMS Princess Royals from Hornby?
We are expecting something a little bit more on those at the Wally show this weekend. We've been told to expect a little bit of an update there. So as soon as we get that to hand, we'll be featured on our social media channels. So do follow our Facebook and Instagram pages there. And of course, we'll have the latest news on Platform 1 of those as well. So subscribe to the channel. Brilliant.
Evanswood Central says, is there any news on Dapol's Class 86?
The 86 in N-Gauge is available now. That is currently available to order. The 00 version, the Helgen 86, again is available to pre-order right now. The 86 Zeros in the 1960s livery. Check out our website for more details on those.
Brilliant. And just as you finished, we ticked over to 2 p.m. So unfortunately, guys, that means it is the end of the show today. I can see there's still a lot of fantastic questions here on my screen, but sorry, we haven't had time to speak about those. If you do, as I say, if you do want to get those answered, get in touch with us, and our guys on the help desk will be more than happy to help you out. But as you can see, it's been a lot to talk about this week. Obviously, we've got our 66 production samples there. If you want to see more about those, come and visit us at Wally, come and say hi, come and see everything else we've got to show. Of course, we've got a lot of fantastic train sets here, so if you're looking to do a bit of Christmas shopping, check out those links in the description. You can get hold of all of those now.
And we'll be having, no doubt, a really busy week next week as well with all the latest news from the Wally show. If you don't manage to come along, the best place to find out the detail is either on our Facebook page or right here on Platform 1 next Friday.
That's it. So do subscribe and don't miss a show because there will be a lot for us to talk about next week. So, yeah, we will see you guys there. And thank you very much for joining us today. I've been Jack, he's been Dave, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.